Hello and welcome. Welcome to this episode of the Daily Soul Bytes Show. I am your host, Bola Abimbola. This is the show where we interview guest authors, coaches, and entrepreneurs to share their insights for the expansion of collective consciousness. And today I have a very special guest. Her name is Tania Ho. Welcome to the show, Tania.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me. Thank you so much.
Tania is all the way from Thailand, and I'll read a bit about Tania before we start. Tania is the founder and owner of Museflower Retreat, and that this retreat offers yoga, meditation, and soulful retreats, as well as spa getaways. She teaches people how to meditate, and she's also studied a number of holistic therapies, including devotional chanting, cacao ceremonies, labyrinth walk, shamanic journey, flower essences, and energy healing. She offers various meditation classes, oracle card teachings, intuitive healing sessions, and soulful retreats. She's also a mother of two boys and a business owner, and she loves to share how to integrate spirituality with daily life. This is really wonderful, Tania. Thank you for joining me. I really wanted us to really talk about restoration, meditation in a fun way, and restoration. How would you define restoration, the different ways that restoration can occur? And then I want to hear about how you came to this beautiful place that you're in at the moment.
Yes, thank you, Bola. Thank you for having me here again. So when you talk about the restoration, there are actually 7 types of rest. And it was started from the book from Dr. I think her name is Dalton Smith. And she talked about the 7 types of rest. So there's physical rest, which we are all familiar with, like going to sleep, or maybe even getting a massage. Like that's kind of physical rest. But there is also emotional rest, mental rest, creative rest, spiritual rest, social rest, and sensory rest. And so sometimes when we feel like, well, I'm still like sleeping 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, while I'm still tired, maybe we do have to look at the other parts in our life. Are we taking enough rest, let's say in the emotional area in my life or in the mental part? That's where the meditation, I feel, the practice of meditation can really help with that. Sensory rest is, we're so loaded with so much information every day with our phone, with the computer, with the internet. So are we getting some kind of rest from that, maybe spending time in nature. Creative rest is just having time for ourselves to do creative things just for fun, not to have a purpose or have to be able to achieve something, but just, like it doesn't even have to be a hobby, just something like creative to have fun with, to play with our inner child. And then there's spiritual rest. So that probably will vary from each person, but, spiritual rest is really this time to connect what is sacred to you personally, that is the bigger presence around you. And social rest, there's 2 parts. So social rest either is we do want to get out and socialize and get nourished from spending time with our loved ones, or the opposite, like social rest could be just I need time by myself and recharge. So there are 7 types of rest, all amazing and all very important. Like you say, so you do in your own practice as well.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. What made you decide to provide this service to the world? What made you decide? Tell us a bit about your background.
Yes. So my background is actually in hotel management, and my focus was on spas. So I've always really loved the idea of natural health and combine, with hospitality, because that's what I studied. And I just really love the idea of people getting really relaxed, after a spa treatment. But how I came to Thailand to come to really opening a retreat was mainly the key event in my life was my dad's passing. So my dad had depression. And so, after his death, it was a time for me. I was like, okay, I know what I don't want to do in my life, but I don't know what I want to do in my life. And that was just kind of this time when I went to a retreat myself for the first time in Thailand, because I was already working in Thailand to, heal my grief. And the experience in the retreat and just being in nature was so powerful, but in a way, it's also very subtle. Like, it was very transformational, it was very healing, it was very nourishing. And so that's what really kind of get me like, oh, I really love the idea of retreat. It was very powerful. And so later on, I had this opportunity to open a retreat center here in Thailand, in the northern part of Thailand. And that was I think that was 12 years ago. We started this project. And for me, it was really just one to have this space because I grew up in Hong Kong, actually. So I'm from the city. And I really wanted to have the space for city people to reconnect with nature and to rest, like we talk about the rest, but not just on the physical part, but just also to focus on the emotional part or like on the energetic part as well of our, when we look at our health. And just a place to reconnect through, to nature. And that's one way to reconnect back to ourselves. So that's how I kind of got to here. And that's, 12 years ago, we started this project. And 10 years ago, we're open as Museflower.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And the meditation that you do, you tell us about meditation because meditation is something that is not always easy to stop the chaos in the mind. When we think about it, there's this research that was published in 2005 that talks about how we have over 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts going through our minds every day. And, not 80% of those thoughts are negative and 90% of those thoughts are repetitive. So how to really come to a place where we're able to pause this chaos in the mind and begin to tap into our true self, our true divine nature. How do you support your clients to do this?
So there's twofold to the answer. So I think first of all, it's most important to understand what meditation is not. I feel like when I started meditation myself, also when I saw people's, like the picture of people meditating, holding a mudra and sitting cross-legged, it's so calm. It's like, wow, it's like about having no thoughts, and it looks so easy for them. And then, we thought maybe it's just counting your breath, and oh my God, it's so difficult. So I gave up on meditation. It's like, okay, it's not for me. It's just too difficult to do it. And so later on, when I got to experience different types of meditation, then I realized, meditation is not just this one way that I thought it was going to be. It's not just about counting breath. It can be, that's one way, which is great. I often compare meditation to different kind of cuisine. There's so many different types of meditation now. There's so many different types of cuisine. So if there's one type of meditation that doesn't suit you, I'll say, please be open, try a different one, and you'll probably find one that really lands on you because it does relate to your own learning style too. We all have different learning styles. Like some people are more visual learner, some people are more auditory learner, some people are more like tactile, like, they have to experience it. So, there is one type of meditation technique that would fit, different people. That's what I believe. And another, the second part of the answer to your question is meditation is not about having no thoughts. And I think that's one of the biggest misconception that people have about meditation. And so did I have that, misconception before. It's about cultivating awareness. So first of all, it's a skill and it's a practice, just like when we go work out in the gym, when you work out your muscle, can't expect to be, so strong that you can lift like a lot of weight on one day, and same for meditation. So it's a skill to practice, but it is really a skill to help to practice awareness. So it's not about having no thoughts, but it's being aware of, oh, I'm having those thoughts, but I am not my thoughts. I am having all these feelings, but I'm not my feelings. Just like I'm not my arm and I'm not my legs. So it's just able to have this awareness to observe the thoughts. And then we start to practice this, we can start to, eventually we may sometimes land in this space where kind of like, like you're rising above clouds and then the sky is blue and you kind of feel that kind of like just stillness, the calmness. But some days, maybe we're still around the clouds, and that's okay too, because it's part of the practice.
I love that. I do agree that it's not about no thoughts, because the thoughts will always emerge, the thoughts will always arise, and we cannot control these thoughts. They come from that ecosystem within us. And it's about how we become. I love the fact that you mentioned awareness. Self awareness is key. Being aware of the different types of emotions and thoughts within us so that we can come to align to what we prefer, what really will give us our best outcomes. And this is what my book is about. I've just written a book called Daily Soul Bytes, and it's really about becoming much more familiar with the higher perspectives of love, compassion, gratitude, joy, forgiveness. These are higher perspectives that really come from our true self. And when we become more aware of the different emotions, different perspectives within us, we can become much more familiar with them. The book actually activates a sense of awareness within. And you can begin to get more familiar with the higher perspectives. And then let these higher perspectives guide the day to day. And that stillness is a really wonderful place. And we may have moments of stillness when we start. But as we practice more and more, it's a journey. We begin to experience more stillness and we use it to gain more intuition, to gain more wisdom for our day to day. And I love that you really mentioned self-awareness. Could you talk a bit more about your work? What can clients expect when they come to Museflower?
Mm-hmm.
Is it an 8-week program you do, or is it a 6?
Right.
How does it work? And how do you make meditation fun?
So thank you for the question. So we have actually just 2 main retreats, though it's all available all year round. So we have a yoga retreat. It's like 3 nights, 5 nights, or 7 nights. And then we have a spa getaway retreat also. That's 3 nights, 5 nights, 7 nights. And so every day, it depends on, of course, the retreats. One is more kind of yoga meditations focused. One is more just spa relaxation, but also just getting in touch with different kind of wellness activities. Of course, people can also come here, just book as a normal, like a hotel, and stay for a night or 2, or just to customize their own classes and programs. So we have yoga classes, meditation classes, and how to make it fun is we have different type of meditation classes, and we don't call it meditation. We call it something else, like cacao ceremony, but there is meditation in it. We call it, kirtan, devotional chanting, but there is meditation in it. Of course, we also have a meditation workshop where we talk about, meditation, engaging our different senses and experiencing that. So labyrinth walk, for example, is when you walk on a labyrinth. That is a meditation, but you don't have to think of it as meditation too. And I think that's the fun part, is that you're doing all these mindfulness, you can say, activities, or maybe the class have like a short meditation involved, and you get to experience meditation. It's like, oh, hey, okay, that's cool. That's how meditation, or one type of meditation, is.
So tell me about this cacao, because I've heard about it, the cacao ceremonies. What happens?
What happens? So a cacao ceremony, we treat cacao as a plant medicine. It is not a psychedelic, so it's not the same as other psychedelics of plant medicine people might heard of, like ayahuasca, but it does have psychoactive properties. So when in the cacao ceremony, you do use a ceremonial grade cacao. So it's not the same cacao powder that you will buy to make hot chocolate. So it's a little bit. Is not as processed, so you can really work with the whole fruit and the whole bean. And there's so many physical great benefits of cacao. So they have all these like food feel good chemicals, and promoting all these hormones, a love molecule, and on the physical level also, blood circulation can be accelerated up to 40%. So that's on the physical level. And so on an energetic level, what happens is it really kind of gently open, you can say, the layers of energy or consciousness, and allow us to drop down deeper into our heart space. And when I say heart space, I mean the energy space in the heart, or energy center of the heart. And so to really be, for us to help to connect, you can say, that higher perspective that you were mentioning before, really connect with the wisdom that is within us.
Mm.
So that's what I love about cacao ceremony. It can be observed in so many different ways with
Mm.
different practitioners. So of course, mainly cacao ceremony is to consume the cacao, and the different teachers, they might pair it with different things. So for me, I paired it with meditation, more kind of like a shamanic journey type of meditation. You can combine it with yoga. Some people combine it with dance, artwork to do like, creative, like maybe drawing mandala. You can combine with
Mm.
kirtan, which is chanting. So there's many different ways you can combine a cacao ceremony, different modalities that you can work with.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that, and I wanted to really get a sense of the well-being spa, the retreat.
Mm.
What
Mm-hmm.
what do your clients? Um, Someone has come all the way from, say, oh, I don't know, um, New York, very
Yeah.
stressful, and they want
Yes.
to get some rest.
Yes. Yes.
Well, they've come for a 3-day retreat at Museflower.
Mm.
What can they expect?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, usually if they come so far away, if they're coming just only here, I would say stay for a week. Usually what happens with our minimum is 3 nights for the retreats. And there's a reason why, is because it really takes 3 days for a person to really wind down, to kind of disconnect with their daily life on the physical level, on a genetic level, and to really just to be more present in the now. So what they can expect is, we are a vegetarian retreat center, so all the meals are included. So everything's inclusive. So starting from the airport transfer, when you land in the airport in Chiang Rai, you're being taken care of. You come to the retreat center, all the meals are taken care of. You don't have to think about what you're going to eat. And then there's a schedule. If you book under a retreat package, there's a schedule for you to follow. So what happens, actually, time really does kind of pass by quickly, because in the morning, maybe you go for yoga at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, that's meditation. And then it's breakfast. And then after breakfast at 10:30, maybe you'll have a spa treatment or like a wellness workshop, like a cacao ceremony that I talked about. And then it's lunchtime. And then after lunch, maybe you go for your nap, especially if you're traveling from far away, you have time difference, jet lag, and you want to go take a nap. And then in the afternoon, it's the afternoon yoga class at 3. Or maybe there's another class. Sometimes we have different other classes, cooking class, for example. We might have like a Tai Chi class or like cycling tour that's like at 4 o'clock. So it really depends how much you want to do. And the great thing, I think, at our place is everything is flexible. And so it's not a very strict type of retreat experience where, one might expect at an ashram, that kind of experience. And it's still kind of like a retreat holiday. So you get to choose how much you want to do, or as little as you want, because I feel that even by being in nature, it's already very healing. And just with this time to really take the time for people themselves to really rest. What happens a lot is actually people nap a lot. And then they realize they're much more tired than they thought they are. They don't realize. They think sometimes they plan some planners, there's some great planners, some guests, they plan like so many activities, and they feel like, and then they're just like, they cannot, like, by the afternoon, they're just exhausted. Because on the energetic level, they're also working a lot, doing a lot, not just on the physical level. So, which is good. It's great. People, they take a lot of nap. They're like, oh my God, I've been like napping in the afternoon. I never had the luxury or that time to allow myself to nap, and they feel great. And then everything, we have dinner early, and then at night it's more quiet. There's no nightlife here. So people tend to sleep earlier as well. We'll have the lights out at 11. So everything's just dark, and then people wake up early to begin their day.
I love that. That is so beautiful, because you're taking account of different systems. Everybody's different. And we all have different needs. And some of us will come wanting to rest, and some of us will coming to be much more physical. And I love the fact that you have workshops. And I'm assuming these workshops will cater to those who need emotional rest or creative rest. How do the 7 types of rest fit into your retreat?
So, I mean, on the physical rest is easy to talk about, because they have the spa treatments, they have the sleep. I think the emotional and mental are you can say all the wellness activity offerings that we do, the wellness workshops, the meditation, flower essences, for example. We also have another teacher on site who does Reiki, for example, for energy healing. So, besides the spa massage, there are some other therapies, our guests can choose. And then, of creative rest, yes. So we have a room here that we have kind of like just all these mandalas for people that can color. So like adult coloring book, but you have the space you can go and do coloring, or like cooking class, or like chanting, singing, so they can get to engage with the creative side. A lot of people take this time to do journaling as well. Like they feel like they don't have enough time to do journaling in their daily life. And so when they come here, they have that time to do journaling or just reading a book. And then, sensory rest is just really being in nature. I feel like that's just a big one of course, we still have internet, we have Wi-Fi. We actually don't have Wi-Fi in the room. We only have Wi-Fi in public areas. And of course, people can still work their way around it now because it's still easy to get internet on your phone. But, that's one way to kind of reduce that sensory overload. Social is... most of our guests come here are solo travelers, or maybe it's their first time to travel on their own. And so sometimes they actually get to meet like-minded people here, I feel like, because people come for retreat, their intention is quite similar versus when you go just like, on a holiday on a resort, it's quite different. So I have guests who share it with me, it's actually very nice to meet like-minded people, and they get to share their intention, to share their journey, their own healing journey with each other here. And and spiritual rest, it really, like I said, depends on each person. And sometimes if they do want to go deeper in the inner work for themselves, when they go, for like the private, for example, healing sessions, or, just joining some of our special, more kind of like soulful retreats. So I did get to mention before, sometimes we have kind of special retreats hold not all year round on specific dates. And those are kind of more going deeper into that self-love journey, that healing journey for yourself. So that one will be more, maybe for some people, that can be considered as spiritual rest as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that. I have one final question, Tania. I know you're also a mother. You're a businesswoman. You're a mother. You've got two boys. Like, also got two boys. So how do you balance it all to make sure that you, as this person that has so many different roles, running a business, one thing. I mean, being a mother is a full-time job on its own,
Yes.
How do you balance it all and make sure that you yourself as a practitioner, a lot of us as spiritual practitioners are also getting the rest that you need?
Yes. I would say it is really getting support. There's a saying like it takes a whole village to raise like kids, and definitely it is. Having really good like support system in place. I think because I've been doing this for like running the retreat center for 10 years, we already have all this system in place. So the retreat center can run without me being there physically. I work a lot at home at the moment now. So at the beginning, it was not like that. But at the beginning, I didn't have kids. So, it did take time. It was a journey. It took time to set up all the systems. So then now that I don't have to be there, but things can still run by themselves. Our team know what they're doing. So, and also just really, sticking to my spiritual practice, which is meditation, journaling, and on the weekends when the kids have no school, they're here at home, and it's really teaching them that mommy needs her time to meditate. You can stay here in a room and you have to play quietly, but I have to have my meditation because then I can be a better mom. I can be a better mom for you later on. So, and they do accept that. And sometimes they do want to join in, but it's just, I feel like it is teaching them. So then they understand, oh yeah, okay, mommy this is her time to recharge. So I would say definitely all these. And the rest, of course, physical rest, just getting physical rest as moms is not easy as well. So finding way, I used to find when I had my younger son was newborn, just finding time to nap, after lunch, having that so I can keep on going throughout the day. It's important. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you have any final words before we go today?
So we talk a lot about rest, and I do want to share this special retreat that my friend Yumin and I are doing. So my friend Yumin, she's from Singapore, and she's a forest bathing coach and a rest coach as well, actually. And we'll be doing a retreat together from November 29th to December 4th, and it's called Sacred Rest with Nature. So it's a 6-day, 5-night retreat. So we'll be incorporating all different kind of rest invitation based on the 4 elements, which is earth, water, fire, and air. So we're going to incorporate all the 7 rests we talk about actually in the retreat. So we're going to have forest bathing, and she's going to do yoga nidra every day. Also, just so it's, in a way, it's actually a sleeping meditation. We'll be doing like shamanic journey, cacao ceremony. We're going to do fire release ceremony where we're going to write things that we don't want in our lives anymore and burn them. And so it is scheduled at sort of like at the end of the year, but before like all the Christmas and like end of year busy time. So to really have that time to gently wrap up the year and just to go into the new year with this renewed sense of energy. And have this clarity as well.
Oh, that's beautiful. Tell us what forest bathing is again. I know it's really getting that, getting into the element of nature. So for those who don't be too familiar with it would be good to know a bit more about.
Yeah, so forest bathing, even though I'm not expert, I have attended the forest bathing sessions and I love them a lot. So it is invitations when you be in nature. It's not the same as nature walk. So the facilitator will actually offer some kind of invitations to allow us to really engage our senses with nature. In the specific invitations from the facilitator, and just really, it's a huge rest for our senses in a way, and just a way when we connect with nature, it's something, so we're not pushing for something to happen, we're allowing and we're receiving and just see whatever wants to come. And there's something that is so beautiful and so healing in that allowing energy, allowing nature to inspire us if there's inspiration, and if there's not, that's okay too. So forest bathing, it is spending time in outdoors, definitely. And there are a series kind of activity, they call invitations or activities where you get to engage with nature in a fun way also. Maybe you one time I remember she said, pretend like a flower is a phone, and, you can say anything you like into the flower to the earth, right? Pretend it's a phone and just anything you want to say. So that's, one invitation.
Oh, I love that. Oh, this is lovely. I might just book myself on this particular retreat. I tell you now.
Thank you so much.
There. It is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tania.
Thank you, Bola. Thank you so much for having me here again.
I'd like to thank my audience for joining me today. And I would like to also ask you to grab your copy of my book, Daily Soul Bytes. It's now available online anywhere books are sold, and to subscribe to the Daily Soul Bytes show. We have new episodes every Wednesday, and we have daily shorts on spirituality on our YouTube channel. So subscribe and join us, and I do look forward to seeing you on the next episode of the Daily Soul Bytes show. Bye-bye.